I'm Leonardo da Vinci. Today, I want to show you 5 different designs on my desk. These are not just drawings on paper. Each one is the result of long nights and countless experiments. I designed them by candlelight in my workshops to create solutions for humanity. If you want to join me on this journey, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like this video. Let's begin. First, I will show you a weapon of war. Standing in the presence of Duke Ludovico Sforza of Milan, I see the concern in his eyes. France is threatening. Enemies are everywhere. Leonardo, he says to me, show me something that will give us superiority. It was then that I felt the need to design this giant crossbow, and I immediately began my preparations. But creating weapons of war has always been a paradox for me. On one hand, I have a soul that loves peace. I want everyone to live in harmony and happiness. On the other hand, surviving in this merciless world requires power. This crossbow is far more than an ordinary ballista. The giant wheel mechanism you see on the left accumulates human power many times over. One man turns this wheel, but the force stored in the bow equals perhaps 20 men. An incredibly powerful weapon of war. While designing this, I thought of Archimedes' lever principle. "Give me a place to stand, and I shall move the earth," he said. And I said, "Give me a wheel, and I shall stop the enemies." Those long arms you see, carefully positioned, and those gears, they are not by chance. Each was calculated with precision. I drew, thought, and experimented night after night, because I know that nature works with perfect mathematics. The symmetry in a flower's petals, the spiral in a snail's shell, all follow an order. If man is to create, he must understand this order and prepare accordingly. This crossbow will probably never be built. Too large, too complex, perhaps too expensive. But I did not draw this just to please Sforza. This sketch is a thought experiment. Tomorrow, perhaps 100 years from now, someone will find this drawing and say, "So even in that era, humans could think of such things?" Then I will have achieved my purpose. If this video sparks such thoughts in you, share them with me in the comments. Now, I will show you something very different. I designed this to facilitate production. A stamping machine for minting coins or shaping metal sheets. I am generally known for designing weapons of war, but I have designed many machines to reduce human toil. I had visited a mint in Florence. I watched the men working there. From morning to evening, they struck metal sheets with heavy hammers. Each blow wore down their wrists, their shoulders, their soles a bit more, and they grew exhausted. By evening, how many coins had they minted? Perhaps 100, perhaps 200, and each one slightly different, because no matter how skilled a human hand may be, it tires, trembles, and errs. That's when I thought, what if a machine could do this work? These horizontal arms at the top rotate continuously, powered by a horse or by water. With each rotation, the hammer below descends once, rises once, steadily, regularly, without fatigue. Not hundreds, but thousands, tens of thousands of strikes in a day, and each strike identical to the last. While designing this, I listened to my heart. How does the human heart work? Without stopping, rhythmically, for a lifetime. Rest and contraction, rest and contraction. This machine works the same way, in harmony with nature's rhythm, because I believe that the best machines are those that imitate nature. Consider this. If coin minting accelerates this much, trade flourishes. Merchants embark on journeys with greater confidence. People conduct commerce more easily. A single machine can transform an entire economy. This is why I must design every screw, every gear with care, because I know that small things create great changes. The third design I will show you is one of my favorites, a wire drawing and thread spinning machine. Do you know why it's my favorite? Because this machine transforms human labor into a work of art. Walking through the streets of Milan, I pass by textile workshops. I hear the sounds coming from inside, the turning of wheels and the sounds of spinning machines. Looking through the window, I see young girls and elderly women inside. From morning to evening, they spin thread with their fingers. Some have calloused fingers, some have eyes squinting from fatigue. I think to myself, such beautiful work doesn't have to be this exhausting. Florence and Milan have grown wealthy from textiles. Our silk fabrics are renowned throughout Europe, but production is slow and time-consuming. This machine I designed can solve this problem, I believe. You can turn the wheel on the left with water power. Our rivers flow ceaselessly anyway. Why not use this force? As the wheel turns, the threads passing through the middle are automatically twisted and strengthened, and the spool on the right wins the finished thread neatly. The hanging weight below provides constant tension. Isn't it incredible? In this design, I combined mathematics with art. The ratio between the thread winding speed and the wheel rotation speed is crucial. It must not be too fast or the thread breaks. Too slow and it loosens. But when you find the exact ratio, then the machine almost runs itself. Humans only supervise and guide, creating and guiding. That should be humanity's true work. If these ideas resonate with you, like this video and subscribe. Let's continue living the Renaissance spirit together. Now, I will show you a very different design, perhaps the most important one. This is not a specific machine. It is a scientific study of gears. You may have noticed everyone around me wants things that can be used immediately. The Duke wants weapons of war. Merchants want profitable machines. But I know that true progress lies in the foundations. No matter how magnificent a building may be, if its foundation is not solid, it will collapse. In this study, I examine how gears work. What happens when I connect a small gear with a large gear? If you turn the small one, it rotates quickly but produces little power. If you turn the large one, it rotates slowly but generates tremendous power. This may seem like simple knowledge, but this is the operating principle of all machines. At night, when everyone is asleep, I make these calculations by candlelight. I take notes in mirror script from right to left. Some ask why I use mirror writing. There are many reasons. Perhaps I write more comfortably with my left hand. Perhaps I don't want others to read it easily. But the most important reason is this. Mirror writing slows me down. I must write each letter carefully. As a result, my error rate decreases. The mathematical calculations and ratios you see on this page are the language of future machines. Today, they may seem meaningless, but 100 years from now, yes, someone will read these notes and say, "This is why this principle works this way." Then my nights of work will bear fruit. I do not live only for today, my friends. I work for tomorrow, for 100 years from now, perhaps for the many Leonardos who will come after me. This is why these theoretical studies are so valuable to me, because knowledge never disappears. Knowledge is transferred, grows, and transforms. Finally, I want to show you a magnificent design, an automatic bell-ringing mechanism. You may be surprised by this design. A bell mechanism after weapons of war and production machines? But I believe that a civilization's advancement is determined not only by its power, but also by how it measures time. Growing up in Florence, I would listen to the bells of Santa Maria del Fiore. The bells didn't just tell time, they organized our lives. Prayer times, market openings, fire alarms. But with each ringing, there had to be a man in the tower, pulling the ropes, keeping the rhythm. It's actually difficult work. I designed a machine so the bells could ring by themselves. Beneath the two bells you see at the top, there is a complex mechanism box. Inside are gears, hammers, and timings. The weight attached to the long chain below slowly descends, operating the entire mechanism. It's a somewhat complex design. Setting the timing was very difficult for me. The bells must ring at regular intervals, neither too frequently nor too sparsely. I listened to nature's rhythm again. The human heart, bird songs, wave sounds, all have a regular rhythm. I wanted to adjust my machine according to this rhythm. This design is actually a clock. But it doesn't just measure time, it transforms time into music. For humans to live only by satisfying their need for food is too ordinary. Beauty, harmony, music, these are also part of life. We must integrate these into our lives as well. Imagine these mechanisms working in all of Milan's towers. Every hour, bells ringing in harmony. The city becoming a symphony. This is my dream. Machines should exist not only for production, but also to beautify life. A weapon of war, a production machine, a textile system, a scientific study, and a bell mechanism. All different, but they all share one thing in common. All these designs were created for the freedom of the human mind. I, Leonardo, am not just a painter, nor am I merely an engineer. I am an observer. I observe nature, humanity, and society. And everything I observe I put on paper. Perhaps tomorrow, perhaps 100 years from now, someone will look at these drawings and say, so even in that era, such things could be imagined. This is the greatest reward for me, to live not only for today, but for tomorrow, to work not only for yourself, but for humanity. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, walk with me through the streets of the Renaissance, explore the dusty shelves of my workshop. Write in the comments which design you like the most. You've truly made me curious. In our next video, we will discuss 5 very different designs of mine. Farewell.